Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. First and foremost, Carl's opinion. Thank you as always. Your generosity is so greatly appreciated as always. Hey, Mr. Goodman Mods in chat, don't ever forget LASIK surgery for your eyes, Exhibit A. Carl's opinion. Thank you. Thank you, Carl's opinion. As always, hope all is well. And everyone, thank you. Eric H526. Get better. I hope you get better soon. And ladies and gentlemen, we have some interesting things to talk about. So before we get to Adam Schiff being the first witness, so Doug Collins was on Fox today with Chris Wallace. And he was basically saying, we want to know why and how Adam Schiff got in contact with the intelligence operative that complained about Trump's conversation. These are intelligence. It's so obvious that there's a union or an alliance between intelligence chiefs, or I should say the intelligence agencies or people within the intelligence community, the diplomatic corps, and all against President Trump and the Democratic Party and media. He didn't do anything wrong. He did nothing wrong. In fact, there's every reason to investigate Biden and his son. You have a quid pro quo right when he's in the Council on Foreign Relations. He's on video saying, you will not get $1 billion if you do not let this prosecutor go. The prosecutor was investigating the company funneling millions to Hunter. Okay, this is all public record knowledge. Democrats are like, no. Then you have Ambassador Yovanovitch stating that during her confirmation, J-Hold, I actually have. So, okay, I guess we'll really quickly segue into, check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. I did 3 segments today. I'm very happy. My latest one was about the bizarre speech that Biden gave about the application of sunscreen on his legs. It was hilarious. Oh my God, was it amazing? It's so great. Oh, it's so great. You have to see that. So that's on H.A. Goodman's other channel. So I get to talk about some great things on H.A. Goodman's other channel. I get to talk about just a lot of great things regarding both Bidens. They're pretty awesome. The dad and the son. They're both great. They're both great. You actually have to have another channel just to talk about them. So check that out. It's on H.A. Goodman's other channel. It's below in the pinned comment of every one of my segments, and it'll be below in the pinned comment of this segment. But Biden is, and we'll get to Adam Schiff needs to be, Doug Collins basically said that Adam Schiff is going to be the first witness, which is hilarious because if Schiff says, nah, I'm not going to be your witness, then he really doesn't have anything against Trump. Believe me, if you truly believe that somebody committed a crime, then you can't wait to testify against them. You can't wait to, you just can't, I mean, if Schiff really thinks that Trump should be removed from office, then one would assume he would want to testify. Now he doesn't. Or he won't want to testify and he'll get out of it. So when it's a trial in the Senate, Doug Collins said the first person who testifies is Adam Schiff, but this is really hilarious. So Joe Biden, there's a speech about how, basically how he likes to embrace people and how when he applies sunscreen, well, I don't want to get too into it, but it's really bizarre and it's kind of just repulsive. But check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. But they say Trump is like, a danger to the Constitution and our democracy because of the things he says. It's like, no, actually, the things he says whether it's social media or in a campaign rally or a speech, are infinitely better than any of Biden's, theatrical performances, which is part of an overall theatrical performance regarding the DNC primary. Biden is playing a character, and he's always been playing a character. He even, look, you can go back into, they did a whole, late 90s, early 2000s, where they had a Senate hearing on performance-enhancing drugs in sports and in Major League Baseball. And he did this whole thing with, when I was playing ball in high school, I'd take these behind the bleachers, and he kind of tried to stop himself from saying that he would really be upset if somebody took, performance-enhancing, supplements and chemicals, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But he's acting. He knows he's not going to become nominee. Clinton literally stated she knew who was going to become nominee, and it's her. She knows she will win again, easily. Why do I keep talking about it? When it happens, I'm going to explain to everyone. It's not the pundits. It's not especially people on the left, which I'm not on the left anymore. I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm not a Republican, but I'm definitely not a Democrat. People who don't focus on Clinton, it's actually not. I'm not the anomaly here. I'm not the person barking up the wrong tree. Everyone should be discussing Clinton's nomination because she's going to be nominated. It's a political machine. They don't want. Do you think Biden is going to win every single day? The difference between Biden and Trump, both are provocative, but for different reasons. Biden is looking at this. Well, Trump is he'll put a picture of himself on Rocky Balboa, and it'll be hilarious. And he'll get the media to do exactly what he wants, and he ends up winning in the end. With Biden, there's no redeeming qualities to any of his nonsensical or very bizarre statements. He fought cornflakes. So what do you expect us to do, Mr. Vice President? You fought cornflakes. What does that even mean? What do you want to... How should we think of you any differently? How does this help your campaign? You fought cornflakes and Cocoa Puffs and Count Chocula and Lucky Charms and whatever. Grape nuts. You fought every breakfast cereal there is to fight. So, okay, so now what? So now you're talking about sunscreen and the application of sunscreen on your legs. How is that a good thing for your campaign? Then he makes faux pas after faux pas after I can't even really get into what he talks about because of YouTube policies. Then you have things he embraces people who don't want to be embraced by him. He's very touchy-feely. Nobody views him to be this, this family figure, this uncle, nobody views Joe Biden, the former vice president, to be this wise old figure that, you just love, this cuddly, lovable, family patriarch. Nobody views him to be this. Nobody. There's not what have you ever met anyone who's wearing a Biden no malarkey shirt or hat? They literally had to come up with a phrase, a slogan that wasn't so ridiculous that it seemed like they were trying to win, while at the same time being such a miserable example of public relations that they couldn't win. So there's this existential dilemma with Biden. He has to kind of pretend he really wants to win while at the same time ensuring he doesn't. So it's like, then you have Clinton with the shtick with that. I don't. It is currently right now in my plans. I'm not running, but I haven't ruled it out. Really? What do you expect Biden to do for you to enter the presidential? I mean, hasn't he done enough? Hasn't he done enough? His legacy is being like altered because of this. I mean, the guy had a pretty good career in politics. His legacy is being altered because of this. He's becoming a human meme, not in a good way. Not in a good way. So, I don't know. You have 5.4 million people who saw that video of Biden talking about applying sunscreen. I hope it was sunscreen. I'm assuming it was sunscreen. So, and he's like, I don't see that. I don't know what do you expect us to get out of it, Mr. Vice President, former Vice President? What do you want to? You think it's relatable? You know, you biting a person's finger. It's relatable. I don't know. I don't think it's relatable. I don't think anyone says, "Gosh, finally somebody I can relate to instead of Trump, the orange menace." And then with Trump, what Democrats have done is they can't win on the merits. They can't win on the merits. They can't say, well, the economy's horrible. The economy is great. Compared to President Obama's economy and Bush's economy, the economy is great. They can't say that. They can't say, well, Trump got us into a terrible quagmire. They can't say that. They can't say that. They can't say there's like strife and no, I mean, they can't. The country is actually doing very well. So what they do is they transition from actual specific disagreements on policy, because they're not going to go with Medicare for all. They're not going to do any of those things. That's just a way to deceive progressive voters. They have zero intention. They own the House. They haven't passed the Medicare for All bill, an abolish ICE bill, Green New Deal legislation. It's a resolution. Nobody cares about the resolution. Elizabeth Warren came out with her Medicare for All, which is different from Bernie's Medicare for All, and neither of them have actually convinced anyone that it's feasible. The Mercatus study said you'd have double, triple tax collection. So even if it were feasible, they're not selling it. You have to sell it. Not everyone feels that simply because, a progressive congressperson says that they're morally superior, the rest of the country is not going to care. You can get retweeted and you can get your social media posts shared endlessly. It still won't matter. You have to actually sell a policy. You have to actually communicate the merits of a policy, and you have to actually show that these policies are feasible. Then you have to pass Medicare for All in the House, and then say, well, Trump vetoed it. But they haven't even done that, because Pelosi and none of the other Democrats want it. So they're stuck between. They're stuck within an existential crisis also, the Democratic Party. It's a machine. Their most intriguing and energizing policy objectives are not feasible, nor do they want them. They just want to funnel the votes and the hopes and the dreams of very idealistic people who voted Bernie and who still vote Bernie. I don't understand why anyone would vote Bernie. I'm not talking about in terms of policies. If you like his policies, fine. But I'm talking about, he's going to be cheated. He's already been cheated. But see, now they're saying, well, Trump's personality is undermining the Constitution. No, it's not. He's an authoritarian. No, he's not. The people who are authoritarians utilize government to go after Trump. So they set up and framed Trump with a dossier Clinton purchased. Then you have FBI agents who literally stated they are going to stop Trump. And it's still not enough. It's still not enough. Because With Clinton, we have to hear about different biases, bias through osmosis, and different bias. Oh my God, and subliminals and subconscious. And this word means that you cannot vote for Clinton, and oh my God. But then with the FBI agents who were investigating Trump and covering up for Clinton, they're literally like, oh, Clinton has to win 1,000,000 to 1, 1,000,000 to 0. We'll stop Trump, all of this nonsense, how they can't stand him. And then it's, they're going to separate their political views from their personal. No, they're not. No, they're not. And no court of law would allow that. Greatest ever. Thank you, greatest ever. Thank you. So, thank you, greatest ever. Thank you. So it's like they're greatest ever. Thank you again. It's like they always move the goalposts. They're always moving the goalposts. They're never they don't have an actual message, which is why no matter who they pick for nominee, they're still going to lose to Trump. But it's going to be Clinton again, and if she loses again, nobody's going to care. I mean, yes, Democrats will. I'm saying Clinton won't. A lot of media won't. And they'll still blame Trump again, and it's going to be I think it's going to be either a slow transition to sanity, or you'll have parts of the media kind of breaking away from the establishment narrative, saying, wow, we bet on the wrong person again. We put all our eggs in one basket again, and we lost again. Maybe Trump isn't that bad. Maybe it's us. Maybe we set up and framed him. Maybe he didn't work with Russia, and maybe nobody cared about that. He didn't work with Russia to interfere in the election, because guess what? If people read the DNC emails, that shows that Democrats cheated. If Russia hacked the DNC, they would have hacked Clinton's servers, with top secret and special access program intelligence stored within those servers. How they got there, nobody knows. Could you imagine if Trump had servers? My God. My God. Could you imagine? So, they're trying to impeach Trump. He's not... It's such a complete and abject failure. It's so hilarious. They're trying to impeach Trump on nonsense. You're going after us again. But no one... The premise also is that Biden is his direct political opponent, which he's not. Just because he's up in Democratic Party polls doesn't mean Trump really fears him. Trump never needed to investigate Biden to defeat Biden. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. Even one of the ambassadors who Ivanovich, who testified, even one of the ambassadors who testified stated that when she was being confirmed during President Obama's administration, that she was given talking points on how to address the issues of the vice president's son. So, it's like they're living in a world where reality is predicated upon whether or not they can win. So the notion that Trump would want to look into their misconduct, whether it's the DNC reaching out to a foreign country in the Ukraine and trying to see if the vice president or his son actually engaged in wrongdoing or conflicts of interest. Or no. The Democrats reached out to the Ukraine to find dirt on Manafort and Trump. That's documented in The Hill, and Politico, and what was it? Fiona Hill during the impeachment backed up those claims also. But I mean, it's not, Dems enlarging Trump. That's right. Base every day. That's right. Ha ha! Nelly. Yes. Just activated Siri. Oh, man. Nice. Nelly, hello. But, I mean, you look at the Democratic Party is just hilarious. They're run by basically two people, but you could never tell. Because this charade regarding Biden and the Democratic primary, the whole thing's a charade. One of the main reasons Biden is there is to bolster the notion that Trump was trying to go after him with his Ukraine call. Do you think for 1 millisecond, that Trump is worried about Biden? That would be the most epic debate of all time. You see Biden fumbling for his words, and then Trump just going into just beast mode and just steamrolling Biden. I'll give Clinton one thing. He went after Clinton brilliantly, but she took it pretty well. She's actually the only person they have that could actually stand up to Trump, and she would still lose the election. She will still lose the election. So President Trump will win. It's just a matter of, even Clinton stated, she was on Graham Norton, British show, and she stated she has to decide very soon. Which, of course, if she's going to decide, it's either one of two things. Either you see Madam Secretary knocking on doors. Why isn't Warren 50 points ahead? I don't think that she's going to knock on doors and work to elect Biden. Is that the personality of Madam Secretary? Does anyone believe this? Does anyone believe that Madam Secretary has the personality where she's just trying to be a saintly figure, trying to help the Democratic Party get out of the abyss? She met with everyone, not to help them. Why would one person meet with every candidate? She's met with every single candidate, and it's to tell them, hey, I'm either running or I'm seriously considering running, which of course she's running. But, something like, if you play ball, I'll hook you up. Carl's opinion. The people of a young age spreading a sunscreen on his leg store. It gets even worse for Biden when the people remember what Biden said about the demographics. Yeah, it's Carl's opinion. It's such a very difficult. See, it's very difficult to talking about Biden and his sunscreen story. It's like telling a joke that nobody it's not funny. So if you tell a joke that's not funny, and everyone's like, what? It kind of puts you in a situation where you're like, oh my God, what did I just do? And this is Biden's entire campaign. His entire campaign is predicated upon extremely bizarre statements and behavior. The behavior is atrocious. And they talk about Trump. Believe me, I would rather have a conversation with Donald Trump for an hour than a conversation with Biden. They say that Trump is not honest. He's a lot more honest than any Democrat, Clinton especially, but also Biden and President Obama. I would much rather have a conversation, or forget about just a beer. you know? Like, because Trump doesn't even drink, so which I think is great. But it's just Carl's opinion. Thank you, Carl. It's really hilarious too, because it's like he's almost overdoing it. I bet you. I think that Biden is not done with the performance art. I think that Biden isn't done with the performance art. I think it's going to get even more hilarious. I really do. Could you imagine a debate? Could you imagine a debate between President Trump and the former vice president? You know, because Clinton can, like, look, Clinton's going to be nominee. And when it's Clinton versus Trump, this is how the debate's going to go. I can tell you right now. I told you what would happen in 2017. I told you what would happen in 2015. Clinton would lose. I said that in The Hill, The Huffington Post, and Salon. The articles are below in the pinned comment. I'm going to tell you how the debate's going to go. She's going to constantly bring up Russia. She's going to constantly bring up the intelligence agency. She's going to constantly bring up the Ukraine impeachment. She's going to constantly say Trump is impeached, an impeached president. She's going to constantly talk about just everything he said, like things he said in 2015, that, you know, anything. She's going to constantly go there. And it's still not going to work. But that's what so at least what I'm saying is, with Clinton, she's actually, I wouldn't say she's formidable, but she actually could go toe-to-toe with Trump. He'll still win the debate, but she's the only one who could stand up somewhat to the president. Everyone else would get completely obliterated. Bernie could, but it's a populist when it's two opposing populist views with the same foreign policy, because Bernie has essentially the same foreign policy as President Trump. This is something that nobody wants to admit. That's how you go from Bernie to Trump, and I explained that in the Federalist. But in an economy where there's record low Black and Latino unemployment and record low national unemployment, and there's record highs in the stock market, and there's household median income is up, wages are rising. The populist Bernie's populist message worked in 2016. Great Grandma Anon! I cannot wait to see Trump wipe the floor with killer. I wonder if Brazil will be there. Crime against. Remember, thank you, H.A. Great Grandma Anon, thank you. Thank you very much. The debate questions I do remember from the DNC emails. And thank you very much, Great Grandma Anon. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. But something, Great Grandma and Carl and everyone here and almost 400 people, that the media is not going to. The media will say that Clinton is going to win every single debate. I will tell you that right now. Madam Secretary will win every single debate. There will not be a debate where the president wins. There will not be a debate. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. There will not be a debate that the media says President Trump has actually won this presidential debate. It's not going to happen. CNN, Hillary Clinton wins third debate. According to CNN. According to CNN poll, yeah, okay. The online polls generally will always, well, if it's CNN, they'll say, oh, yeah, Clinton won. Majority of voters say Clinton won first 2016 debate. Every single debate. Every single debate will say that the polls will say they'll say that Trump was belligerent and they'll say that Trump is belligerent and, So, I mean, you're talking about a political machine. The Democratic Party is a political machine. There are no rules. They have no rules. They cheated Bernie Sanders. That was actually not part of the rules, but you know what? It was part of the rules. Debbie Wasserman Schultz says fair and neutral, and the rules changed. The rules change when Clinton wants them to change. That's it. That's it. And then media says, oh my God, student debt. Alleviating student debt is control. That's the Washington Post said that. Bernie Sanders' plan to alleviate student debt is part of a grand plot to control people. When Clinton runs, she'll be like, after great deliberation and thought, I'm going to run. And then they're going to say, well, that's, what? There's a certain, under this bylaw, says that you can do this, that, and this, and that, and this, and that. Because you did this and that prior. It's going to be awesome. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign in disgrace. Why? Why didn't Debbie Wasserman Schultz stay? I wonder why. And why would the Russians hack the DNC but not Clinton's servers? Could you imagine Aldrich Ames and Robert Hansen with servers? Come on. So we have impeachment that nobody cares about. Independents don't care about. There's going to be 6 or 7 million people that are going to decide this election. And if the economy continues to do well, that's really all that matters. That's really all that matters. The I'm With Her crowd runs the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is actually, and I realized this, I didn't actually understand this dynamic until somewhat recently, actually, which is kind of funny. Because I was so stuck in that world where, if you just explain things, like this is before I became a Trump supporter, and then even after, I would look at oh, look at this person in Congress talking about these issues, and even though it's not feasible, they're generating so much enthusiasm. Well, not really, but they're pretending, and they're getting a whole lot of people to just eventually vote Democrat, but still, in the meantime, they're still getting a lot of press and coverage, and at the end of the day, Democrats jettison all of that. And the media is not composed of Bernie supporters. Definitely not Elizabeth Warren supporters, and definitely not Biden supporters. They're composed of the I'm With Her crowd. So the I'm With Her crowd is not like... Clinton knows that she can't just jump in because that would petrify too many people. So she's waiting. And now people look and they say, oh my God. My God. Biden. What are we going to do? The Orange Menace. He's going to... If it's Biden versus Trump, you might as well put Jerry Nadler, against, Ray Lewis at a football drill. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign in disgrace. Because the way the Democrats work is that they have direct ties to media. Media always, and look at Andrew Yang. Look at Tulsi Gabbard. When Clinton called Tulsi Gabbard a Russian operative, did they say, oh my God, Madam Secretary is disparaging a veteran? No. They're like, well, maybe it's true. But if it was Trump, did you see what he did? Did you see what he did to McCain? Pilgrim driver. And well, how many votes did Russia alter? How about 0? But we haven't heard the end of that for 3 years. Pilgrim driver. Will Madam Cyberhack tow I don't understand. But Pilgrim Driver, thank you. They'll make it work. There is no, believe me, there are no rules with Madam Secretary. Madam Secretary, there are no rules. So, and everyone will find this out, and that's fine. That's good, actually. It vindicates everything I've ever said. It's actually good for the country too, because we have to put this chapter behind us, which means that Madam Secretary has to explain to the world that Russia cheated her, because that's what even President Trump's intelligence agencies say, which is hilarious because Russia never cheated her, but that's what the media believes. The media believes that Russia infiltrated the DNC to inform the country that Bernie was cheated, thus giving Clinton the popular vote, while at the same time making her lose swing states because of Facebook ads. So, they're going to impeach Trump this month. You have the IG report. Could be after they impeach Trump. Clinton comes in. There's some, bylaws suddenly, whatever, who cares? And then they'll say, yeah, by the way, you can run in Iowa and everywhere else, and Arkansas and every other state that you didn't apply for, but because there are no rules. Just like when you got debate questions. Because you know what? There are rules against getting debate questions, but you got debate questions. Anyway. Carl's opinion. Suburban women will come back to Trump after they look at their bank account balances. Women generally handle... That's true. They are not going to want to make any changes, especially after they get their tax returns. Carl's opinion. Yes. It's interesting, too, Carl's opinion. It's interesting, too, Carl. When has there ever been a time, Carl, and everyone here, when has there ever been a time when unemployment wasn't a key consideration of the average voter, not only in America, but also in Europe and around the world? Around the world. You can look at elections everywhere on the planet, in Africa, Asia, it doesn't matter where, Latin America, it doesn't matter where. The unemployment rate is always a key factor in whether a leader stays or goes. Pilgrim Driver, will Bill stay home when she's... Oh, Pilgrim Driver, I don't know. All I know is that I'll do everything I can to help Madam Secretary win. And if that means talking to everyone I can talk to, I will, because I love to talk to people. That's what I'm talking about. The DNC literally stated in the DNC fraud lawsuit that they're a private entity, and that they could pick regardless of any rules they write, that they could pick their candidate in smoke-filled back rooms. That's been discussed and documented in a whole bunch of publications. So the Democratic Party doesn't have any rules. That's why Debbie Wasserman Schultz and 4 other officials resigned. That's why Debbie Wasserman Schultz said they were fair and neutral when they weren't. So there are no rules. That's why there's a media that when the media wants to turn on Bernie Sanders in 2016 or Andrew Yang or Tulsi Gabbard, they do so. And they just happen to always just say that Clinton wins every debate. It's just really interesting. AC Ure. H.A., how are you, my friend? Hope well, great. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, AC Ure. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Thank you. Carl's opinion. That's also, it's like When has unemployment? So unemployment is at a record low. And simply saying it would have happened with President Obama is not, first of all, you don't know that. Second of all, it's not a rebuttal. So, Carl, Democrats have no rebuttal to the economy. They're not really running. They're running on, oh, he's so controversial, but they're running with a candidate that is actually far more controversial than Trump. With Trump, they fabricate everything. A phone conversation, a dossier Clinton purchases. She had top secret and special access program intelligence. She cheated Bernie Sanders. The Democrats cheated Bernie Sanders, blamed Russia for informing the world that they cheated Bernie Sanders. Even Elizabeth Warren agreed they cheated Bernie Sanders. Even Donna Brazile stated that Clinton, in Politico, that Clinton runs the DNC. And it's like, you know, it's interesting because Trump will win again, and it will be interesting whether the Democratic Party looks and says, okay, we need people like Conor Lamb, we need people like Sharice Davids, we need people like Tulsi Gabbard. We need Democrats that are pragmatic, not ideologues, and want to scale back U.S. foreign policy, and perhaps a little bit more center. And we need, see, what the Democratic Party does is they marginalize and they silence any dissent, any rival, direct rival to Clinton, and the media coincidentally, whether it's Bernie Sanders or Trump, or whether it's Tulsi Gabbard or Andrew Yang, and even Biden. I mean, Biden, they're not really going after Biden, but with Biden, it's like, I mean, there have been the hit pieces have been never ending. It's kind of interesting. He actually, you know, encourages them with his behavior, but you know, it is kind of interesting. But it's interesting that the media always, you know, this image, this rehabilitation of Clinton's image is actually breathtaking. People really believe she doesn't want to run. It's amazing. They really believe Russia cheated Hillary. They really do. Because Comey, who hasn't told the truth perhaps ever in his life, literally, Clapper and Brennan committed perjury. Comey committed perjury numerous times, but like, they're like, well, the intelligence community said that Russia hacked DNC. They were so afraid of Hillary. You get 20% of U.S. uranium capacity if you're Putin. You're okay. You're not worried about Hillary. You're certainly, if you meet with Bill Clinton at your home, if you're Putin, you're not worried about Bill Clinton. So, I mean, the whole thing is just based on millions of people who need, thank you, Hippie Crusher, thank you. Hippie Crusher, thank you. The whole thing is based on people who need an excuse for why they lost. The last 3 years of American history from the Democratic Party's perspective has been lost. They basically lived in their own purgatory of discontent. So, but the Republicans don't cheat. That's the interesting thing. They don't cheat. It's the Democrats who cheat. I mean, and it's like, it's hilarious too, because you got Debbie Wasserman Schultz forced to resign because she cheated. Pilgrim Driver! Styx is coming around to your thing. Love Styx. Love Tim Pool. I watch Tim Pool and Styx every day. And I love Black Conservative Patriot, Kevin's Corner, a lot of great Anthony Bryan Logan, but Styx and Tim Pool, I love. Styx is awesome. I think once Democrats lose again, the arrogance and the hubris, they're going to be forced to kind of look and say, okay, well, you know what? We have to change. Thank God the Republicans never cheated Trump, because if they did, oh my God, he would never let it go. He would never let it go. He would never let it go. But with Bernie, it's like, nah. Even President Obama the other day through Politico, I don't know if everybody saw, said if Bernie Sanders got too close, he would intervene. It's like the Bernie can't get a break. Then he gets Elizabeth Warren. It's like, oh, thanks, Warren. Oh, my God. You ran now. Oh, fantastic. Thanks for endorsing me in 2016 when I really needed you. I loved the fact that that's what friends are for. Thanks for endorsing me. Not. You didn't endorse me, did you? But you did decide to run in 2020. That's very interesting. Thanks for deciding to run. You split my movement into two. It's now a bowel movement. Congratulations. I want Clinton to run. I obviously she will, but I want the charade to end. And then when Clinton runs, she'll be like, well, then don't vote for me. Because people online will be like, oh my God, Clinton running like that. You know, all the people on the left will be like, no way, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not actually a bad man. But I don't know if I can vote for Clinton. You what? I don't know if I can vote for Hillary, dude. Because she lost, man. And he was real corrupt. This is not a personality contest. And she got 65 million votes, and the Russians cheated her. Dude, calm down. I think you're a Trump supporter, aren't you? You're like H.A. Badman, but worse. At least he's honest. Dude, I don't even know who you're talking about, and dude, calm down. Okay, I'm not voting for Trump. I don't even like him. I can't stand the Orange Menace. You can't stand the Orange Menace? You can't stand the Orange Menace. But you're not voting for Hillary? I'm going to report you to Jack. I'm going to get your profile and report you right now. Dude, what's going on, man? Is this the way it's going to be the whole year? What's even happening? I don't even like Trump, dude. You're actually pushing me towards Trump. Do you understand that? I will vote for Trump secretly and tell everyone that I'm not, simply because of you. Why don't you do that? Why don't you go to a Russian store and buy a tiki torch and just be yourself? Vote for Tulsi Gabbard. You're a Tulsi supporter, aren't you? You're a Tulsi Gabbard supporter, aren't you? You voted for Tulsi, which is one step away from Trump. Even worse than Trump. At least the Trumpkins are a lost cause of immorality. But Tulsi's worse. She pretends to be moral, like you. What's the matter? What is it really that you don't like about Clinton? Did the Russians pay you well? Huh? I always had my suspicions about you and Medicare for all. Dude, you're totally weird, man. I don't even know what you're doing. In fact, now I will definitely vote for Trump. I will definitely vote for Trump. And I will tell everyone that I'm sitting it out. But just to spite you, dude, I'm voting for Trump. You do that, I will purge and make sure every single person online has passed my test. That's basically every day. Every day on social media, is going to be like that. Every day on social media is going to be like that. It's going to be hilarious. Ladies and gentlemen, check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. I talk about the sunscreen, Joe Biden's sunscreen. Joe Biden makes very simple things very complicated. Oh, yeah, let me tell you the story about sunscreen one day. Like, I don't really have to hear about your experiences with sunscreen, Mr. Vice President. Why are you telling us? It's bizarre. I'd rather watch every single rerun of The Apprentice with Trump firing people than a speech from Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. God bless. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. And that's actually an interesting comment. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you. God bless everyone. Carl's opinion to my super chat. Thank you so very, very much. Everyone have a great, great, great evening. And Eric H526, get better.